3 firefighters died after part of a vacant home collapsed while they were battling a blaze.
It shouldn't take a tragedy like this to remind us of the tremendous debt that we owe to all our firefighters, police, and first responders.
During the service at the Baltimore Convention Center, Lacey Marino remembered her sister Kelsey's personality.
She had this beautiful and fun energy about her that would just fill the room, and she was loyal.
Valerie Bonk, WTOP News.
Just ahead, in Money News, what is D.C.'s most valuable building? What are they trying to put up right across from the historic courthouse in Fairfax? Great to have you along on Wednesday evening on WTOP 753.
I haven't really woken up until I've had my McDonald's breakfast deal. And I know this is true because before breakfast, I put my phone in the refrigerator and couldn't find the keys that were already in my hand.
Nothing gets the morning going like the first sip of an iced coffee. Get any size and any flavor for 99 cents until 11 a.m. Price and participation may vary.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. McDonald's. I'm loving it.
The only thing better than grinding all night for your side hustle is your roommate picking you up with Mickey D's breakfast. The perfect pickup deal. There's a deal for every morning at McDonald's.
Right now, taste breakfast perfection when you get a warm and savory sausage McMuffin with egg for just $2.50. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with combo meal.
Still ahead in a few minutes, a winter storm is bringing snow and ice, blanketing 2,000 miles of our nation. It's on the way on WTOP with CBS coming up in a few minutes.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it'd be too difficult or take too much time? Then try Babbel. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel teaches you conversations that you will actually use. With 14 languages and lesson topics like travel, business, relationships, and more, you'll learn what matters most to you. Babbel. Language for life. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com.
Research shows that people remember radio ads with a booming voice that emphasizes all the main points. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
That part is super important.
Here's one with a booming voice.
I'm emphasizing everything.
Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance.
Like a page with every word highlighted.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Liberty, 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 liberty.
Money News at 25 and 55 at WTOP to Jeff Claybaugh.
The Dow gained 224 points Wednesday. The S&P 500 up 1%. Payroll firm ADP says private employers had a net loss of 301,000 jobs last month, more than half of that at bars and restaurants. D.C.'s new property tax assessments show the city's most valuable building is Constitution Center in southwest D.C., assessed at $771 million. A developer has submitted plans to the city of Fairfax for dozens of luxury condos directly across from its historic courthouse. Jeff Clayton, WTOP News.
Asian markets mostly lower. Tokyo is down 1%. Australia a 0.25% lower. South Korea's Kospi, though, is up a couple of percentage points. Ahead here on WTOP, absorbing the new name for the football team, Washington Commanders, coming up.
This winter, Comcast Business is helping Team USA and businesses across America stay ahead during the Olympic Winter Games. Keep yours ahead, too, with reliable connectivity and secure solutions on the network that can deliver gig speeds to the most businesses. And get access to over 20 million Wi-Fi hotspots from coast to coast to help you stay connected on the go. So no matter what big event comes up, your team can be ready for what's next. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get started with fast speeds and advanced security. Together for just $69.99 a month for 12 months with a 3-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get up to an $800 Visa prepaid card when you order online. Call 1-800-501-6000 or go online today to learn more. Offer ends 2/2022. Restrictions apply. New Comcast Business 100 megabits per second internet and security edge customers only. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. Equipment, taxes, and other fees extra and subject to change.
757. A while back, we at AmericanEagle.com were asked to build the e-commerce site of a major candy distributor. With the need for a website that could take into account everything from shipping times to local weather, because, you know, candy melts, the task was not like taking candy from a baby.
Fortunately, we live for a good digital challenge. And free bonbons. So we got to work on a slew of complex integrations, including a shipping algorithm that factored in variables like distance, speed, and location. The website even let the end customer personalize their candy for special events, like weddings or, major website launches. When all was said and done, our client enjoyed a significant increase in traffic, which we were also well prepared for, and an increase in average order size. A sweet result indeed. For complex e-commerce sites, digital marketing, UX, and more, talk to the experts at AmericanEagle.com. Don't just grow, soar.
This is WTOP News. WTOP-FM Washington. WTOP-FM Manassas. WTLP-FM Braddock Heights, Frederick.
Bob in the traffic center.
Well, Beltway in Montgomery County on the inner loop before Connecticut Avenue, there was a crash along the right side of the roadway. Again, inner loop before exit 33. The crash on the inner loop after River Road is out of the roadway, and southbound 270 still working on the debris spill right before you get on the 270 spur to head toward Democracy Boulevard. The WTOP Traffic Center presented by Window Nation. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free. Visit windownation.com. Bob Imler, WTOP Traffic.
Storm Team 4's Matt Ritter.
Cloudy tonight with light rain arriving after midnight. Lows will be in the upper 30s to low 40s. Light rain and drizzle and mild tomorrow. Highs in the 50s. Periods of steady soaking rain Friday. Morning high temperatures in the upper 40s. Falling rapidly throughout the afternoon into the evening. And a hard freeze is on the way for late Friday night. I'm Storm Team 4, meteorologist Matt Ritter.
Annandale is at 38. College Park 43. Aldi 43 degrees. Some of us down to about freezing overnight. It's 7:59.
You're listening to WTOP, Washington's top news. Live, local, and constantly updated. 24/7, 365. On the radio, on your smart speaker, the WTOP app, and WTOP.com.
Good evening, I'm Dimitri Sotis. Coming up, the Washington football team announces its new name is the Washington Commanders. We're taking your calls on the WTOP talkback line. Do you like it? Also, Maryland Governor Larry Hogan has delivered his final State of the State address.
Virginia schools fighting an executive order making masks optional, have their day in court. I'm Christy King.
Riots against historically black universities now being investigated as hate crimes. I'm Megan Cloherty.
Asian markets lower, but on Wall Street, the Dow was up 224, NASDAQ up 72, S&P up 43. A struggle for the caps tonight, 8 o'clock.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper in Chicago. Snow and ice make up a storm system from New Mexico to New England. CBS's Janet Shamlian in Chicago.
A brutal winter storm barreling across more than a dozen states. 2,000 miles of mess. Interstate 70 near Kansas City grinding to a halt, littered with semis turned like toys. A jackknife FedEx truck along an Illinois interstate. Snow piling up so quickly near Peoria. Cars stopped in their tracks.
Let the plows do their thing and then come out later on.
Airlines canceled more than 5,000 flights today and tomorrow. Tonight, concern about sleet and ice in Texas. Almost a year after a freeze there led to one of the nation's biggest blackouts.
President Biden says his administration is relaunching the Cancer Moonshot Initiative he led as vice president.
The goal is to cut the cancer death rate in half in the next 25 years, at least by 50%.
The new push comes without any new money. University of Pennsylvania doctors say they cured 2 men of leukemia with a gene therapy.
It's called CAR T therapy. The one-time treatment involves collecting the patient's own T cells, white blood cells being the key to the immune system, then genetically changing them in the lab so they'll find and attack cancer cells. They stay in the body and evolve over time and continue to fight cancerous cells. A decade after they treated the 2 patients, the doctors say they couldn't find any cancer cells in their bodies. The first time this kind of therapy has been studied over such a long period of time. The study is published in the journal Nature. Peter King, CBS News.
As Russian troops remain along Ukraine's border, President Biden orders more U.S. troops to head to Europe. CBS News national security consultant Jeff McCausland.
The 3,000 troops being deployed to Eastern Europe will include 2,000 paratroopers paratroopers from the 82nd Airborne Division and will likely be augmented by additional attack helos, air defense, artillery, and intelligence.
A panel of intelligence experts has not identified a single culprit for apparent brain injuries reported by U.S. personnel that have been linked to the so-called Havana syndrome, but several potential causes remain plausible. CBS's Olivia Gazis.
A new report from an expert panel charged with identifying the cause of the mysterious neurological condition known as Havana syndrome found some cases of the illness could be caused by directed energy, reaffirming a previous study and keeping open the possibility that a foreign government may be behind the incidents.
A gun salute to honor the late Senator Robert Dole, who has been buried in Arlington Cemetery in Virginia. Joint Chiefs of Staff Chairman Mark Milley presented the American flag to his widow, Elizabeth Dole. This is CBS News.
Never miss a moment. Top news from WTOP. 24/7, 365. Listen on air, on Alexa, and on the WTOP app.
8:03 here on WTOP. Wednesday evening, February 2nd, 2022. Annapolis has 38 degrees, headed down to the freezing mark. Good evening, I'm Dimitri Sotis with the top local stories we're following this hour. After decades of resistance to changing it, Washington's professional football team does have a new name tonight.
We are
the Commanders. The Washington football team shall now be known as the Washington Commanders. WTOP's John Aaron reports.
The name is what we thought it would be. Team President Jason Wright, Senior Advisor Doug Williams, and Team Captain Jonathan Allen made it official, though, making the announcement to today's Craig Melvin this morning.
We are the Commanders. We are the Commanders.
The Commanders. The Washington Commanders.
Right around the time of that announcement, the handle @Commanders tweeted, "One legacy, one unified future," an apparent reference to the team's controversial former name. It also featured the hashtag #TakeCommand. The announcement came as no real surprise. This week, Washington great Joe Theismann sounded very confident Commanders would be the new name. And then there was that flight over FedEx Field where NBC4's helicopter spotted a Commanders sign inside the stadium. We've been waiting for this new name since July of 2020, when we first learned that the team name would change, and after enduring a couple of seasons of them just being known as the Washington football team. John Aaron, WTOP News.
Most everyone does have something to say about this new name. That's why we've opened up the WTOP talkback line for your reaction. One caller tonight to WTOP says they would have preferred Red Tails over Commanders.
With all of the history and reaching out to Washington's diverse community, calling them the Red Tails, hail to the Red Tails, would have sent an incredible message.
What do you think about the new name, Washington Commanders? Give us a call tonight, 844-282-1035, and record your message on the WTOP talkback line, 844-282-1035, or you can always send us a tweet at WTOP. There's a lot more to read at WTOP.com, including a column from our own Rob Woodfork, who's bringing you sports tonight at 15 and 45. Lots of pictures, too, the new uniforms, some stuff to see out at FedEx Field. Do check it out at WTOP.com. As you've probably heard, the new name, of course, is the Commanders. We've been talking about this, and for Native American communities, this is a change that's been a long time coming.
We've been fighting against race-based mascots and sports teams since the late 1960s.
Brandon Yellowbird Stevens says this is a victory, but the Oneida Nation man also says it is just a first step.
Changing the name doesn't change the long history and the damage that is done to our communities.
Now, after helping choose the new name, he wants the team and the country to focus on educating kids about the real history, not John Wayne Westerns. Crystal Nickelhawk from Illuminative thinks something else could also help.
Never too late to apologize.
They say the team has privately offered an apology, but hasn't done so in public. Hillary Howard, WTOP News.
With his time in office nearing the end, Maryland Republican Governor Larry Hogan delivered his final State of the State address last hour. During the speech, Hogan announced that Maryland's state of emergency declaration will expire tomorrow.
With swift and decisive actions and the vigilance of Marylanders, I'm pleased to report that we have turned back another dangerous variant of COVID-19. And tomorrow, the state of emergency will end in Maryland.
While the emergency declaration is set to expire, Hogan says the state's testing and tracing efforts will continue. Vaccine clinics will also remain in place. Straight ahead here on WTOP, Virginia school systems get their day in court over the governor's recent order regarding masks in the classroom, making it optional and leaving it up to the parents. Stay with us on WTOP at 8:07.
At Fogo de Chão, discovery is always a moment away. Explore the exotic tastes of a market table. One trip could never suffice. Slices of richly marbled ribeye, followed by a fire-roasted picanha. You wonder, to eat or admire? Definitely both. Then, a surprise. Molten savory cheese emerges from the flames, and it melts your mind. New tastes at every turn. Experience it all for one price. Welcome to What's Next at Fogo de Chão.
1877 Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. Donate online at carsforkids.com. That's cars with a K. Pickup is quick and easy. You'll get a vacation voucher and maximum tax deduction. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
It's 8:08.
Call Michael and Son today and get a $49 furnace tune-up.
Michael and Son.
Traffic and weather on the 8s and when it breaks with Bob Imler in the WTOP Traffic Center.
Well, traveling through Bethesda on the inner loop of the Beltway, be alert, headed toward Connecticut Avenue. About midway between 355 and Connecticut Avenue is the crash, and getting by in 2 lanes to the left on the inner loop before Connecticut. They were cleaning up debris southbound 270 at the lane divide just before the 270 spur. I believe they have everything on the shoulder now. And on 95 and the Baltimore-Washington Parkway, each is quiet between the beltways. Earlier crash northbound BW Parkway after 197. That is out of the roadway now, and there's no delay. 50 out to the Bay Bridge, also running well. No incidents to report up and down 395 or 95 on the Virginia side tonight. And on 66, you are good to go in both directions. Visit fitzmall.com to find a safe used car. Fitzgerald has hundreds of cars, trucks, and SUVs. Next to a new car, a Fitzway car is best. Visit fitzmall.com. Bob Imler, WTOP Traffic.
Storm Team 4 4-day forecast and Matt Ritter.
A little extra sunshine this afternoon brought us some pretty mild temperatures, and because it's overcast now, temperatures aren't going to fall very quickly this evening at all. Just chilly overnight tonight under overcast skies. Lows will be in the upper 30s to low 40s, and some light rain will be arriving after midnight and before the morning rush. Light rain and drizzle will continue on and off throughout the day tomorrow. Otherwise cloudy, breezy, and unseasonably mild with highs in the 50s. Temperatures will only fall into the upper 40s Thursday night, and those will count as Friday's high temperatures. Periods of rain will continue through the morning, and then a strong cold front will move through around lunchtime, and temperatures will crash in the afternoon and evening. In fact, some of the rain could end as a few hours of a wintry mix, especially in the northwest suburbs. At any rate, temperatures will continue to fall well below freezing Friday evening into Friday night, and that could lead to a serious refreeze. I'm Storm Team 4 meteorologist Matt Ritter.
Tonight in Rockville, we're at 41, Ashburn 43, and District Heights 40 degrees. Headed down to the middle and lower 30s overnight. Brought to you by Long Fence. 20% off savings on fences, decks, and pavers. Go to longfence.com. Schedule your free estimate today. 8:10 here on WTOP. Virginia school systems challenging Governor Glenn Youngkin's executive order to make masks optional have now had their day in court. Here's WTOP's Christy King.
We had a good discussion in court.
John Cafferty represents Alexandria City Schools that's among the 7 districts fighting the governor's executive order making masks optional.
We'll have to wait to see what the judge has to say in her decision, and then depending on what happens there, there'll be opportunities for appeal.
From the bench, the judge said this isn't about who's right or wrong about masking. The question involves hierarchy of authority. Virginia's Deputy Attorney General argues the governor's pandemic emergency powers take precedence. Cafferty says school boards deciding best practices for public safety trump a philosophy of parental choice. At Arlington County Circuit Court, Christy King, WTOP News.
Virginia's new Attorney General is siding with some Loudoun County parents in a lawsuit against that county school board. That suit centers on the school district's recent vote to uphold the school mask mandate in defiance of new Republican Governor Glenn Youngkin's recent order making masks optional in the classroom. The suit alleges the school board overstepped its authority in voting to continue the mask mandate. In a statement, Attorney General Jason Miyares says after nearly 2 years into the pandemic, quote, "We have better risk mitigation strategies and vaccines. We know much more about the efficacy of requiring children to wear masks all day." It's 8:12, and new tonight, the FBI says it's investigating bomb threats against more than a dozen historically black institutions as hate crimes. It's identified at least 5 people of interest.
Nicole with the Department of Homeland Security. FBI officials say they've identified several people of interest in the bomb threats connected to spoofed calls from a fake number. 20 FBI field offices are coordinating their investigations after the series of bomb threats targeted HBCUs across the country, including Howard University, UDC, and Morgan State in our area. In a statement, the Bureau's Joint Terrorism Task Force says in part, quote, although at this time no explosive devices have been found at any of the locations, the FBI takes all threats with the utmost seriousness. All of the threats are being investigated as racially or ethnically motivated violent extremism and hate crimes. Megan Cloherty, WTOP News.
The Arlington County Sheriff's Office says an inmate died yesterday inside the county jail. 41-year-old Paul Thompson was found unresponsive yesterday inside the facility and was pronounced dead after being rushed to Virginia Hospital Center. Thompson's death brings the total number of inmates who died while at the jail to 7 in the past 7 years. Earlier this week, the county signed a contract with a new medical provider for the county jail. Coming up here on WTOP in just a few minutes.
No charges against an officer who shot a man aiming a crossbow on Neil Augenstein.
A lot of focus on the Washington football team, now the Washington Commanders with their new name. But we've got both the Wiz and Caps in action. We'll tell you how they're doing.
You work hard for every dollar you earn, and now more than ever, you deserve to have your money protected. At United Bank, the community bank of the nation's capital, our long history of safe, sound, and secure banking practices has provided customers with peace of mind protection for over 30 years in the Washington, D.C. region. With safe, free checking accounts, secure mobile banking, and sound financial advice and services, United Bank has you covered. Learn more at bankwithunited.com. Member FDIC.
The WTOP charity of the month is Easter Seals. Since 1945, Easter Seals has worked tirelessly to enhance quality of life and expand access to health care, education, and employment in D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. Providing comprehensive services to children and adults with disabilities and to those with military backgrounds, Easter Seals is creating a hopeful, inclusive community where all people realize their potential and live meaningful lives. For more information, visit WTOP.com, search charities. That's WTOP.com, search charities.
814. Skilled trade workers are the backbone of every community, and also the Army National Guard. Soldiers trained to keep the power flowing, engines running, and in every other trade needed to accomplish the mission. These soldiers are on the fast track to learning skills that can set them up for success at home with companies looking to hire the best. Their resumes are being built through their paid training and part-time service. Find out how you too can learn a trade profession by visiting NationalGuard.com. Sponsored by the D.C. Army National Guard, and by the Maryland, D.C., Delaware Broadcasters Association and this station.
Skyfalls.
Summer will be here before you know it. Just announced Wolf Trap's summer lineup includes Bonnie Raitt, Sting, Jason Isbell in the 400 unit, and the Goo Goo Dolls.
6 feet under, I'm thinking.
Little Big Town, Steve Martin and Martin Short,
6 feet.
Sheryl Crow, and many
so
more
far,
will be live at Wolf Trap this summer. Become a Wolf Trap member today for early access to tickets. Join now at wolftrap.org.
Sports at 15 and 45. Powered by Red River. Technology decisions aren't black and white. Think red.
8:15. And Rob Woodfork.
All right, Dimitri, kind of a slow news day in sports, right? The Capitals coming out of first intermission in a 3-1 hold to the Oilers. Ilya Samsonov, quick hook after giving up 3 goals on 4 shots in the game's first 5 minutes. Phoenix Copley has 8 saves in his stead. Lars Eller's 8th goal of the season got the Caps on the board. So this all coming the same day Alex Ovechkin is sidelined by a positive COVID test. He will also miss the All-Star game because of it. Much better news for the Wizards. They lead 59-54 in Philadelphia. Even with Bradley Beal out of the lineup. Kyle Kuzma stepping up with a game-high 17 points to go with 5 rebounds in a first half in which Wiz shot 50% from the floor and a better than usual 6 of 15 from three-point range. Now, we'll get to the college basketball scores at 8:45 because we have some breaking NFL news. Former Washington offensive coordinator Kevin O'Connell is reportedly the Minnesota Vikings' choice to be their new head coach. Now, if that holds, we keep the NFL at only 1 black head coach with 4 vacancies left to fill. In a related note, a day after Brian Flores filed a lawsuit against the NFL alleging discrimination and an owner incentivizing losing, former Browns coach Hugh Jackson told ESPN he had a similar experience in Cleveland.
When I understood what was going on, I immediately called the National Football League and I talked to Roger Goodell about what I thought was going on. So this is not new. I mean, I went to arbitration against the Browns where I didn't win anything. People don't understand that I tried to sound this alarm a while back, but nobody wanted to listen because the record was so bad.
That record being 1-31 in his first 2 seasons. The Browns have denied the claim. Back home, the Washington Commanders are officially a thing. They unveiled the new name, logo, and uniforms today, and we have a complete breakdown of the rebranding and what it means for the franchise long term on WTOP.com. Check the sports page. Rob Woodfork, WTOP Sports.
All right, Rob, we'll get that forecast for the end of the week here. Coming up on WTOP. Stay with us on your weather alert station.
And now the Small Business Buzz, packaged by the UPS Store.
Are you starting a new business? What's the name? Choosing the right name is probably the most important early decision entrepreneurs make, and picking the wrong one can be costly. It needs to meet marketing rules, and it needs to be unique. Paying for business cards, a website, and maybe even signs, and then finding out another company has your name or one a lot like it would be a big setback. You can check for trademark names on Secretary of State sites or the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office's online database. I'm Jeff Claiborne.
There's nothing small about running a small business.
You can say that again.
And helping is just one of the many aims we do at the UPS Store. Like mailboxing.
Like a P.O. box?
Better. We'll get your business a real street address and send you text and email alerts whenever packages arrive, saving you time for all the other things you need to do. Even if it's, well, that. The UPS Store. Every ink for small business, all in one place.
The UPS Store.
The UPS Store locations are independently owned. Product services, pricing, and hours may vary. See Center for details.
I want to be clear. It's a brand new year. That junk is too near. Get it out of here.
Have no fear. I am sincere. It's going to sparkle bright because we do it right. Going to clean this joint.
All I have to do is point.
1-800-GOT-JUNK gives you room to breathe.
You know, shelves up and down.
And be the very best, most exceptional you.
We make everyone turn around.
That's why they all start
dancing. In the settings.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Now we're going to Bob Imler in the traffic center.
Well, in Maryland, on the Interloop Beltway before Connecticut Avenue, what's left of the crash is now on the right shoulder. All the travel lanes are open and speeds are starting to pick up. 95 in the Baltimore-Washington Parkway doing all right, as is 270. In Virginia, on 95 southbound, slow in Woodbridge, getting past Route 1 and over the Occoquan past 123. Fire department checking on the report of a crash near there around Prince William Parkway, exit 158 on 95 south. We have a problem on 110 northbound near the Memorial Bridge, so be alert there. Some fire department activity going on.
The sacrifice
crash. Meanwhile, things are definitely good to go on 66 in both directions. No incidents or delays to report either way there.
Storm Team 4, 4-day forecast with Matt Ritter.
Just cloudy this evening and overnight tonight. Chilly low temperatures in the upper 30s to low 40s. Light rain will be arriving after midnight and before the morning rush. Light rain and drizzle throughout the day tomorrow. Unseasonably mild with highs in the 50s. And will stay kind of mild Thursday night in the upper 40s. And those temperatures will count as Friday's highs. A strong cold front's on the way. Periods of rain will continue in the morning, steady soaking rain, and then around lunchtime the front will go through and temperatures will fall rapidly in the afternoon and evening. In fact, the temperatures could fall so quickly that some of the rain could end as a few hours of a wintry mix, especially north of DC. Those temperatures will continue to fall rapidly Friday evening, and we'll have to worry about an icing concern Friday night and early on Saturday morning. I'm Storm Team 4 meteorologist Matt Ritter.
And tonight in Hyattsville 44, Fredericksburg 43, Easton, Maryland 38. Some of us are down to the freezing mark overnight. We're brought to you by New Look Home Design. Right now, save 50% on all roofing materials. Visit newlookhomedesign.com. 8:20. Fairfax County Prosecutor Steve Descano says he will not charge the officer who shot and wounded a man who had threatened a relative and himself last month.
The footage tends to speak for itself, and that's a good thing. Fairfax County Police Chief Kevin Davis showing body-worn camera video of officers inside a Chantilly home trying to persuade a man to come upstairs after his parents got an emergency custody order. The man said, "First one down here dies."
Well, we're not going to come down, Robert. We're going to give you that respect for your space.
When his threats escalated, police went outside. Eventually, he came out armed.
He's got a bow. He's aiming it. Put it down.
He didn't. Police fired one shot. The man survived. Robert Jablonski is charged with attempted aggravated murder of a police officer. Neil Augenstein, WTOP News.
The man charged charged with killing 2 campus officers at Bridgewater College in Virginia has been arraigned.
6 feet underwater.
Police took Alexander Campbell into custody after yesterday's shooting at the Liberal Arts College near Harrison.
In the ocean.
The 27-year-old faces 2 counts of capital murder among other charges. Virginia State Police say an investigation into the murders of 55-year-old John Painter and 48-year-old J.J. Jefferson is still underway. Authorities want to hear from anyone with additional information
That's some
about
kids plagiarizing that Law and Order. He's claiming the CIA started that, and they kidnapped and held hostage and took prisoner a bunch of school kids. Rumor has it you have to go to the gospel because they plagiarized that Law and Order.
Maryland Governor Larry Hogan.
And they took them out to cyberspace.
First responder in the line of duty is always
and they put everybody against the wall and shot them in the back of the heads.
During the service